What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and this is back into the preseason previews here for the NHL series this year. And in today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the St. Louis Blues, how they did last year, as well as take a look at salary cap, contracts, predictions, stats, all that good stuff leading up to what I think they're going to be doing this upcoming season. But if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future action. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this preview of the St. Louis Blues. But can't start off a preview without taking a look at their past season and looking at the stats right now on the screen. Obviously, their record wasn't what they wanted it to be, as they had a bit of a down season last year. 37 wins, 38 losses, 7 overtime losses for only 81 points. They did miss out on the playoffs, as the closest playoff spot to them was 95 points. So missing it by a wide margin there. Looking at the team stats right here, individual stats I should say, top players included Kyrou, Buchnevich, Schenn, Thomas, Falk, Saad, Krug, Barbashev, Tarasenko, and Colton Parayko. And I'm sure you noticed that 2 of those players no longer on their team, Barbashev and Tarasenko. Definitely Barbashev a big loss. He definitely needed a change of scenery. But this upcoming season, we'll expect big from the top 5 point getters, at least the top 3 with Kyrou, Buchnevich, and Brayden Schenn. Definitely interested to see if Kyrou can take that next step, and we'll be talking about him a little bit later. But looking now at the cap situation for the team, when it comes to actual total cap space, they only have about almost $300,000 worth of cap space, so not a lot of moving room for them, as a lot of their money's tied up in a core group of players. Obviously, top 3 forwards are locked up for the foreseeable future with Kyrou, Thomas, and Schenn. I know Schenn had 65 points last year, or sorry, Robert Thomas. I was looking at Schenn and Thomas. They both had 65 points, but Robert Thomas, with that contract, he's going to be a player that I would be really interested as a St. Louis Blues fan to really key in on. He's making the same amount of money as Jordan Kyrou, but put up less points last year. Obviously, he didn't play as many games. He only played 73 games last year, but still, with that type of contract, I would expect a big year out of Robert Thomas and Jordan Kyrou. If they can both get around 70 to 85 points, I think that would be a win for not only them, but the St. Louis Blues, as you could see them fighting for a playoff spot if that's the case. Again, those 2 guys really got to run the team. They're really young, 25 and 24 respectively. If they can get it going, along with Buchnevich, get a little interest and production from Kasperi Kapanen. I know they also brought in Verana, see if he can come back from his little stint of not playing in the NHL for a little bit. I know Jake Neighbors should be coming into the squad. Sundqvist, see what he can do, that big body. Brayden Schenn, Brandon Saad, some older guys. Kevin Hayes, obviously they acquired him in a trade from the Philadelphia Flyers. See if he can get it going. There's a lot of pieces on this St. Louis Blues team that lead me to believe that they could be a playoff potential team. Looking at their back end, they are super old. They have 1 player under the age of 25 on their back end listed here on Cap Friendly, Tyler Tucker. Everyone else is at least 29 years or older. So you've got Falk, Krug, Parayko, Leddy, Scandella, Bortuzzo, Calle Rosen, and a lot of those guys are making big-time money. Now, for their age, I wouldn't say it's a complete overpayment. So for Parayko, dude is locked up, 30 years old, $6.5 million for the foreseeable future, all the way until 2029, 2030. That's a very good deal. But Krug and Falk, maybe one of those guys, if the Blues aren't doing well, looks to be traded and they potentially retain some salary this year. But the back end is there, I think, to get something going for the Blues and help them out. If their offense is kicking on all cylinders, I expect their defense to find a way to get it going as well. And then between the pipes, You got Hoffer and Bennington. Obviously, Bennington is your go-to goalie. $6 million for the next 4 seasons. Should be interesting to see if he can get back to his form back in the days when they won the Stanley Cup. I know everyone says that every year, but it really is the truth. He kind of has that Matt Murray effect of, man, he was really good when they went on that playoff run, but he hasn't been good since. So we'll have to wait and see on if he is able to get anything done. It'll be interesting to see, because if the team in front of him is playing well, you would think that he'd be in de facto finding a way to play good between the pipes. But big players, I think, that need to have that breakout season again. I know we talked about Kyrou and Thomas. Expect big years from them. But one of the sneaky players in this lineup for the St. Louis Blues, 27 years old, Sammy Blais. I think this guy could have a potential big-time season. If you're looking for value, if you're a fantasy hockey player or whatever, I think Sammy Blais, he only had 20 points last year. He only played 31 games. So I expect if he can get a full season under his belt, look out for Sammy Blais. He could be around that 40 to 55, maybe even tickle 60-point mark, depending on what line he's going to be playing on. But I expect a big season from Sammy Blais, and then on the back end, a big season in my eyes that could potentially happen. I think a Torrey Krug is due for a solid year. I know last year was one of his down years. Only played 63 games, only had 32 points, 7 goals, 25 assists, was a -26. I expect a bounce back year from from Torrey Krug on that contract he's on, because if the Blues need to go anywhere, their top 2 defensemen and their top 2 forwards need to get the job done. But my honest prediction for the St. Louis Blues when it comes to where I think they are going to finish this upcoming season, again, they didn't finish too high in the standings. They missed out on the playoffs by quite a lot of points. They only had 81. If I had to look at a sports betting odds right now, and honestly, let me go ahead and take a peek right now, and I will tell you guys that looking at the odds right now, I didn't find an over-under, but looking at the outright betting slip for the Central Division winning odds, the St. Louis Blues are plus 1,200, which are 4th worst in the division. Colorado Avalanche at the top with plus 145. So a lot of people they're sleeping on the Blues right now, to be quite honest, based upon their last season and how they did. So I'm pretty high on the Blues. Again, that line of, in my mind, they had 81 points last year. If they can get 95 points, they might be in a battle for a playoff wild card position. I could honestly see that if injuries go their way, if they could stay healthy, if they get the goaltending from Bennington, if they get the goal scoring from Kyrou, Thomas, and if somebody else, I'd say 2 other people in that lineup, whether it's Kevin Hayes, Kasperi Kapanen, Buchnevich, Shen, Verana, Blais, or somebody on the back end, Falk, Krug, Parenko, could be anybody. If they can get production from other than their top 2 in each position, Kyrou, Thomas, Falk, Krug, they have a good chance at potentially making a wild card spot. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comments about what you guys think of the St. Louis Blues, how you think they're going to do this upcoming season moving forward. It's going to be interesting to see as we ramp up towards the NHL season. I know we are so close to preseason, so make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, tell your friends, have them subscribe, tell your parents, tell anybody, get them on the channel. We're trying to hit 750 subscribers by the start of the season, so be sure to tell your friends, join the community. We're trying to build something great here, and I can't do this without you guys. So thank you so much for the love and support. That's going to be it for this one. I hope you guys have a good one, and as always, stay dusty.